Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a part of English grammar that can seem a little tricky at first, the active and passive voice. But trust me, by the end of this, you're going to feel way more confident about it. So let's get started. So, have you ever seen sentences like these and wondered, what's the deal? The police arrested the thief. Or, the thief was arrested by the police. I mean, which one is right? Well, here's a little secret. They both are. But the real question, the important one, is why would we pick one over the other? Knowing the answer to that is the key to making your English sound more powerful and natural. So, let's dive in. Here's a quick look at our game plan for today. We'll start by meeting the active voice, and then its counterpart, the passive voice. We'll figure out exactly when to use each one. I'll show you a super simple 4-step trick to change between them. And then it's your turn to practice. It's going to be great. Okay, let's jump right in. First up, we've got the active voice. You can think of this as the most common, most direct way we speak. The big question to ask yourself here is always, who is doing the action? So in the active voice, the subject is basically the star of the show. They're the one performing the action. The structure is really straightforward. You have your subject, then the verb, then the object. Look at this example. The teacher explains the lesson. Who's doing the action? The teacher. See? The subject, the teacher, is actively doing the explaining. Now let's flip things around and meet the passive voice. This is a really cool tool for changing the focus of a sentence. This time, our key question changes. Now we're asking, who is receiving the action? With the passive voice, our original subject kind of takes a step back. Instead of doing the action, it's now receiving it. The spotlight moves. So in our new example, the lesson is explained by the teacher. The subject is now the lesson. Did the lesson actually do anything? Nope, it just received the action. The focus is completely on the lesson now, not so much on the teacher. Oh, I love this slide because it just lays it all out so clearly. In the active voice, the cat chased the mouse. It's all about the cat, right? Pow, action. But in the passive voice, the mouse was chased by the cat. The whole feeling changes. Now our focus is on the poor mouse and what happened to it. It's a small tweak, but it makes a big difference in what you're emphasizing. So, the million-dollar question, how do you decide which one to use? Well, this is where you can get really smart with your English. It's not just about being grammatically correct. It's about being effective. Making the right choice makes you sound more powerful and more natural. Honestly, most of the time, you're going to use the active voice. It's your best friend for everyday chats, for telling a great story, or anytime you want to be super clear and direct. For instance, she solved the problem quickly. It's strong, it's full of energy, and it gets right to the point. No confusion there. But wait, the passive voice has some really cool superpowers. You should use it when you don't know who did the action, like my wallet was stolen. We don't know who did it, so the focus is on the wallet. Or you use it when the doer just isn't that important. Think about English is spoken worldwide. Who speaks it? Millions of people. The language itself is the star of that sentence. And finally, it's perfect for sounding more formal or polite, like in an announcement. Okay, are you ready to learn how to do this yourself? I promise it's not complicated. In fact, I have a really easy 4-step trick that works just about every single time. Let's work through it together. Okay, here it is, the 4-step trick. First, you just swap the subject and the object. They literally trade places. Second, you add a little helping verb, and we'll talk more about which one in a sec. Third, you change the main verb into its past participle form. And last but not least, you add the word by. That's it. All right, let's put this into practice. Let's use the sentence, she writes a letter. Step 1 is to swap the subject, she, and the object, a letter. So a letter comes to the front, and she moves to the back. Easy enough, right? Now for step 2, we need to add a helping verb. Since our original sentence, she writes a letter, is in the simple present tense, the right helping verb here is. So now our sentence is starting to look like this. A letter is. We're getting closer. Okay, on to step 3. We take our main verb, writes, and we change it to its past participle form, which is written. And for the final touch, we do step 4 and add by right before our original subject. And there you have it. Our new passive sentence is, a letter is written by her. See? Not so bad. Okay, this slide right here, This is pure gold. This is your personal cheat sheet for picking the perfect helping verb every single time. Seriously, I would pause right here and take a screenshot of this. It's going to be your best friend when you practice this on your own. All right, I think you're ready. It's time to put what you've learned into action. No pressure at all, just have fun with it. You can do this. Let's try a couple.
Okay, here's your first one. How would you change this active sentence into the passive voice? He paints the wall. Just think back to those 4 steps. I'll give you a moment to think it through.
And the answer is, the wall is painted by him. Did you get it? I bet you did. That's awesome work. Let's try one more. Okay, this one's a little bit of a challenge, but I know you've got this. The sentence is, who broke the vase? And I'll give you a little hint. When a question starts with who, the passive version usually starts with by whom. Go ahead and give it a try. The correct answer is, by whom was the vase broken? Now, that was a tricky one, so if you got it right, you should be really proud of yourself. And if you didn't, that's totally okay. The important thing is that you tried. That's how we learn. So, to wrap things up, here are the main things to remember. Active voice is when the subject does the action. It's clear and direct. Passive voice is when the subject receives the action, and it's perfect for when the doer is a mystery or just not important. And the most important takeaway of all, practice is everything. And before you go, I've got one final challenge for you. This time, can you go backwards? Change this passive sentence back to active. The meal was cooked by the chef. Think about who's doing the action and put them back in the driver's seat. I'd love to see what you come up with. Thanks so much for learning with me today. Keep up the fantastic work and happy learning.